Loitering is the action of inaction, and in these moments of doing nothing, we raise the stakes of everything else. Within my first few hours of loitering, I neglected to bring a proper camera. I trusted the process, and the process told me to experience loitering the way it was meant to be experienced. I headed north to Matthews Beach Park, a park I'd been dying to visit. Upon arrival, I took a seat in a lifeguard chair and looked across the lake. There I sat for what felt like close to 15 to 20 minutes until I got cold and said to myself, I should get a move on. I feel rather cold. So I walked to Magnuson Park to explore new grounds to loiter in. Magnuson Park is rather large, and it was getting close to night, so as the sun set, I picked up a brisk pace to the waterfront to see a purple haze of the night sky gently lacerate the subtle waters. It was here on this pier I sat. I laid down and loitered. Loitered like there wasn't a car parked 30 feet away from me with people in it trying to stay warm. Like there were not people walking their dogs and riding their bikes in the shadows of the night. I loitered as if it was just me and the planet Earth standing face to face. And there I laid for what felt like close to 15 to 20 minutes until I got cold and said to myself, I should get a move on. I feel rather cold. As I danced through the park with the absence of light filling my vision, I began to get more curious. What are these buildings? What are these shapes? Parks are much more fun to perceive when you do not know what is coming next. Shadows to appear much more clearly during the day and transform into crudely molded beings at night. Exiting the park, I started to hear live music. Is there a concert going on? Someone blasting out their band's mixtape in the parking lot to find new fans? It was neither of those things. There was a night market going on. Being me, I was about to pass it up, because I knew that night markets don't sell anything all that cool for a price I'm not willing to pay for. But I told myself I'd been walking around for what felt close to 15 to 20 minutes until I got cold, and said to myself, I should get into this well-lit warm building. I feel rather cold. And in that moment, it hit me, the meaning to all this standing around. Loitering is parallel to Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's cat is described as a thought experiment. Simplified, the theoretical experiment is that a cat is placed in a box, and the interior of the box is potentially raised to deadly nuclear levels. At this point, we do not explicitly know if the cat is alive or dead, due to the veil of the box. Life is an unknown variable in this case. In this way, the cat is both alive and dead, because we do not know until we open the box, and reality decides the quantum variables. While the implications of the thought experiment are much more complicated, so is loitering. Through my day of non-film loitering, I was the cat in the box, and what was done in the day was the action of living or dying. Only when I got home and reflected on the reality of the day, opening the box so to speak, was what decides if I had really lived that day or not. When I got home, I realized through loitering, I was able to embrace the unknown of the day. When loitering, you bounce between doing nothing, doing something. Going out into the world brings you to this tipping point of sliding back down into your home and letting the day waste away, or sliding down the hill towards the great beyond of unknown night walks, live music, and pop-up markets. At this point in my loitering journey, I still needed video documentation, so the following day I went out again to loiter and record. This time I headed south. Unfortunately, the bounds of Schrodinger's cat so applied to me, for this loitering resulted in a non-lively day. Loitering merely gives you the potential for life in a day, just as much as it gives you the death of a day. Loitering is the start to any adventure, just as it can be the end. I suggest to you to take action in inaction, and loiter.